Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're gonna check out all of the best decks in Hearthstone right now after the latest changes. And even though it wasn't a balanced patch, it definitely was quite impactful and the game feels very different right now. We're gonna check out the 5 best decks, talk about their mulligans, win rates, and general tips so you have a better idea of what you could be doing with and against them. And we're also gonna check out all of the other working archetypes so you guys can see the full picture. So I hope you find the video helpful, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be great. And don't forget to check me out live on Twitch each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, where I do my best to show you the best decks in action. But now, let's get into it. Before we get into the best decks, I'd like to remind you the best way to support the channel for free would be to check out my Raid Shadow Legends channel and actually start yourself a fresh new account with 4 amazing champions as soon as your first week. The game is really much better than you might have heard of, it's much better than I thought, I can tell you that much, and I've been playing it religiously for almost 4 years now, and I've been enjoying every second of it. For those of you who maybe know anything about Raid, you can see that my account is actually pretty amazing, and I have been pushing really hard, achieving some absolutely amazing stuff in the game, which definitely goes to show you can do a lot if you actually know what you're doing in this one. I even made myself a YouTube channel about it with over 20,000 subscribers now, and I'm uploading there multiple times a week as well, so if you guys want to check me out in another light, definitely go ahead and check out my Raid channel and consider starting yourself a new account with my premium download link. I just updated it with 4 really top tier champions, which are gonna get you flying through the content early. But now, let's check out the best decks.
You are not prepared!
Right, so the first deck on the list is gonna be Z Shaman, and I gotta say, right now the meta feels really wonky for me. Like, it really is kinda weird. It's like, no matter what you play, it feels kinda, I don't know, it's anyone's guess who's gonna win it. But yeah, it is what it is. We definitely need some real balance changes, not just that hotfix Demon Hunter received. But until then, this is the situation. Anyway, Z Shaman definitely was powerful before the change to Demon Hunter, and now it really is the best deck out there, really. And it seems that the version with the Slack Claw is the most popular and most potent. I've already given you a video about this deck, so you can definitely check that one out and see what you could be doing with it in order to get the most out of it. But yeah, for the most part, you can zerg the board with a lot of early game minions, double up heralds, and get yourself some really big men really soon. And if that's not enough, you could even double up your Alec here, giving you 4 amazing 1-mana minions, and you even have Deathwing in here, which could get severely discounted by a double Battlecry out of Ultraxion. Just don't forget, if you do that, your Z hero power is no longer gonna be there. Instead, you're gonna be slapping for 5. When it comes down to the matchups, here's what the updated stats are looking like. A lot of green out there, that's for sure. Mug Shaman will be a counter for you, and Quest Priest is also slightly on the negative, but everything else hella green. As for the mulligans, here's what we have right now. Going first and second for that matter, you're always gonna be looking for the good 0s, 1s, and 2s. Anything above 2 mana, not gonna be worth your time. And on the coin, the situation is the same. If you're curving into a 4-drop like a Hijacked, or heck, even into a Slack Claw, it might be a consideration, but usually you just keep 2 mana or less. For other good Shaman decks, technically speaking, I could have even included Mug Shaman into this top 5, but decided not to, because from Diamond 5 to Legend, the stats for it are not that amazing. Here's a list with just above 500 games with 56% win rate, definitely not the worst. And we have several other iterations with a bigger sample size and less win rate. But it's definitely worth noting that in top Legend, Mug Shaman is actually doing quite alright right now. Here's what it is, top 1000 Legend. We can see several different iterations. This one in particular looks very promising, so if you want to be playing Mug, you can definitely go ahead and do so. I thought that the new 3-drop card is gonna make the deck better, but so far that doesn't seem to be the case. And spot number 2 goes down to, no surprises here, Face Hunter. Face Tripwire Hunter has been strong for quite a while now, and after the latest patch, not much has changed. It's still an absolute monster of a deck with the new Tripwire package, and the rest is kind of face stuff. We have the good free 1-mana drops with the Kelderay Fletcher, the Reinforcement Railer, and the Sizzling Cinder. We also have a single copy of Rock Skipper in here, and even Nereus making the cut in this list, even though usually it doesn't, so you can definitely try the deck without it. We have the Sylvana Sisters, all of the Tripwire, and of course the Confront the Tol'Vir. Again, check out my guides about this type of deck, and that's gonna get you flying. But now let's see what the matchups are looking like. And of course you are gonna be seeing plenty of green here, but things like Corpse Death Knight and Aggro Pally might be slightly on the negative. Same can be said for both Mug and Z Shaman, but Z is really a 50-50. However, Dragon Warrior and Egg Warrior are definitely gonna be slapping you hard. And I gotta say, it's absolutely fucking obvious right now, if you play Hunter, you're gonna be facing at least least 50% Hunter matchups. If you switch to something like Egg Warrior, Hunter suddenly disappears out of the meta, so yeah, matchmaking not rigged at all, but that's just me. Anyway, as for the mulligans, going first, here's what we have. Going first, you are going to be looking for your good 1-drops, and you are trying to actually establish yourself on the board in the first few turns. You're not looking for things like Tame Pet or Tracking, that's for sure. So it would be much better to get yourself the Fletcher, the Railer, or the Sizzling Cinder. Either one of those would be amazing on turn 1. The location can be great, the weapon as well. Curving into the tripwires is also amazing. Varisa can be worth it, especially if the game is going to be lasting a little bit longer than usual. The rest probably not so much, even though curving into the Beast tripwire can also be good. Going second, again, same deal. Look for the good 1-drops, the location, the tripwire stuff, that kind of deal. And as for other good Hunter decks, well, it's basically iterations of Face Tripwire Hunter, but we can also see that the Underbelly Face Tripwire Hunter is also doing pretty good, even though the sample size for it is not that big. There's even this new Dragon Tripwire Hunter out there right now, which is not having that high a win rate from Diamond 5 to Legend at least, but people in Top Legend are actually doing quite well with it. Here's a list like that: 10,000 games, 53% win rate, not the worst, but far from the best either. Definitely does have a lot of oomph when it curves out properly, but the thing is, it doesn't curve out properly a lot of the times because you don't really have that many dragons in it. Other than that, the rest is really not worth talking about much. Spot number 3 is going to be going for Troublemaker Rogue, and even from Diamond 5 to Legend this deck is great, but in Top Legend it's even greater. The deck is just way too strong, it has way too much early game potential with the help of Jade Guardians as soon as turn 5 or 6, and if that's not enough, you can just finish off opponents with the help of Lotus Troublemakers, and that can be pretty disgusting. Haven't really seen this particular list out there much, if I gotta be honest. Like, Doomsayer is not something I've seen much in Rogues, but this particular list right now has a good sample size with good win rate from Diamond 5 to Legend, so there's that. Again, check out my detailed guide about another Troublemaker Rogue I did not too far ago, so you can see what you can expect out of it in action. Matchup-wise, we don't have too much stats with this one, but we can check out maybe some similar lists. This one, for instance, has a Viper instead of Doomsayer, a lot bigger sample size, not very impressive win rate, however, but still is gonna give us a good picture, I guess. And things like Face Hunter might be a little bit too quick. Same can be said for Aggro and Aura Pally. Burn Mage is also very face-oriented. Z-Shaman is not going to be your friend, and Dragon Warrior also slightly negative, but nothing too crazy. For the mulligan, you are going to be looking for your good early game 2-drops with Bitterbloom Knight, Escape Artist, and Lotus Bookie being at the top. The Jade Guardian is also pretty amazing. Doomsayers, depending on the matchup, like if you're against Face Hunters, you might want to be slowing them down a bit. Cult Neophyte could be worth it, Eventuality perhaps. The Kingslayer also gives you a good amount of card draw for your important stuff like Shadow Demise, Blood Mage Town Elves, as well as Garona, which is not the worst, and it also could give King Lane for the opponent. Panda Knives could be good depending on the matchup. Shadowed Informant might be worth, that kind of stuff. Going second, again, look for the good 2-drops and you should be good. As for the rest of the Rogue class, there really isn't much else going on. It's all iterations of Troublemaker Rogue basically. This is the one I'm showing you, not the craziest sample size nor stats, but in Top Legend people are definitely doing a lot better with it, especially if they know how to play it. On the 4th spot, I'm actually surprised to see Quest Priest is having pretty decent stats from Diamond 5 to Legend for the last few days. And I guess this deck is doing well against all of the Hunters that are out there right now, as well as all of the Z-Shamans. So if you're doing well against a couple of the most popular matchups out there right now, why wouldn't you be doing well? This is the Soothsayer Quest Priest type deck, and not anything too crazy about this list. I've definitely played a list like this not too long ago, so you can check out that guide again. It does have a few new cards like Holy Embrace, like Soothsayer. We're talking about new cards from the new expansion, which is almost 2 months old now, but you get it. And you do have some offense potential with the Ruby Sanctum, with which you could even be killing opponents. After equipping a Tesh, after having Ruby Sanctum, you could be flash healing their face for a gajillion damage, as well as using the Holy Embrace, both the healing one and the damaging one. That can be a pretty good OTK from hand. Matchup-wise, it wasn't doing that amazing against Void Demon Hunter, it seems, and no, it's actually not doing that great against the Face Hunters either, but surely it's doing decent against Z-Shaman, so I guess that's why it has some positive stuff. Other than that, it's not gonna be crazy good against the Troublemaker Rogue, pretty good against the Pallies if you find them nowadays. So yeah, definitely a mixed bag, but the stats definitely support it for being good right now, so take it with a grain of salt, but test it out and see how it goes for yourself. With Priests, it definitely comes down to skill cap here, so the better you are with this class, the better results you're gonna get, but now let's see what what the matchups are, and we can see that, of course, you're always going to hold on to the quest, not because you're planning on completing it against everybody, but because it does give you a 1-mana Medivh's Triumph, which is definitely a great keep. Both the imbue cards can be amazing, the Cleansing Cleric, especially if you curve into it, Soothsayer you could prep even as soon as turn 2, Intertwined Fate could be nice, Devouring Plague depending on the matchup, that kind of stuff. Going second, again, much of the same deal, so mulligan accordingly. For other good priest decks, this is the one I'm showing you, 57% win rate almost, with 700 games, definitely nothing to scoff at. We have a much more populated deck with a lot less win rate, however, but to be fair, it's an entirely different list, like it doesn't run Medivh or anything like that, it's much more quest-oriented. As Alina Priestess, surprisingly, is trying to look a lot better than what I expected, like I didn't expect it to be above 50%, let alone 51, but people are enjoying it seems. The rest definitely doesn't look too impressive though. And the last deck on the list is actually going to be Void Demon Hunter, and even though the free drop got nerfed, it still does seem like it's doing kinda okay. Not being able to get yourself an extra Void Soul out of the Vicious Void skill definitely hurt it, but the fact that everybody is not running 2 Rustler Vipers, 2 Cult Neophytes, and 2 Glacial Shards anymore definitely helps it, and I do believe that this list is going to do much better if you actually cut a couple of those, because right now this matchup is definitely not as popular as it used to be, like it literally was 50% of the matchups before the change. Right now you can definitely go by without the Viper, without 1 Cult Neophyte maybe, even though Cult Neophyte can be helpful against other matchups as well, it's definitely not going to be helpful against Z-Shaman, I can tell you that much. Either way, this is the faster variant with nothing above 4 mana, you're not trying to Fell Hunter into even more Vicious Void skills, even though nowadays it might actually be worth checking again because you're not going to get that many Void Souls without it, but still, it did feel clunky before, probably going to feel clunky now too. Again, check out my guide about it from before the changes happened. It's still gonna give you a good idea, but for now, let's see what the new matchups are gonna be looking like. And I'm not sure these are the new matchups, like it does say last 30 days, so these stats are not gonna be as impressive, but the win rate it showed definitely is for the last 3 days, so there's that. When it comes down to the mulligan, going first, you are gonna be looking for your good Void cards, like the Void Soul, the Vicious Void Scale, the Sigil of the Seas, the Card Draw, the Void Blast, the Portal, and curving into the weapon can also be great, depending on the matchup. Cult Neophyte, maybe even Infestation might make sense. And going second, again, get the Void stuff and you should be golden. Here's what the stats are looking like for the last 3 days from Diamond 5 to Legend, and this is the one I'm showing you, 55.6% win rate with almost 1000 games, definitely not the worst, but far from the best as well. We do have another iteration of the deck with very small sample size, however it does look much closer to what I would consider trying right now with the new meta. You do have a single Fell Hunter, no more Viper, no more Glacial Shards, but instead you have yourself some bigger, better things that are gonna keep you alive in this meta. Other than that, we really don't have anything else going for Demon Hunter, it's just Void Demon Hunter and nothing else. For the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Death Knight, we can see right now the situation is looking pretty dire. People in top Legend are doing well with Egg, Death Knight, but from Diamond 5 to Legend, this deck is definitely a little bit too hard to pilot well. As for Druids, I've been seeing people do pretty well with Merifra Druid in top Legends, but from Diamond 5, things are not that great. Chef Druid barely playable, but with all of the Face Hunters, I'd say probably best not to. As for Mage, Burn Mage seems to be the best pick, even though it just feels like a worse Face Hunter if we gotta be honest, but still, if you want to be playing Mage, Burn Mage is probably your best bet. Paladin has definitely seen a lot better days, I can tell you that much, but right now Beatrix Aura Pally is doing okay-ish, big sample size, okay win rate, Aggro Pally is also in the same boat with Maiev, and the rest is just iterations of those with not so amazing win rates. As for the Warlock class, Herald Warlock seems to be doing okay-ish, Rafan Warlock also barely above 50, so all around Warlock definitely cannot survive in this super fast meta. And lastly we have Warrior, and Egg Warrior seems to be taking a rise in popularity again against all of those Face Hunters, that's for sure. Dragon Warrior is also somewhat playable against all of those Face Hunters, but for the most part it has definitely seen better days. So that's gonna be it for this top 5, guys. I hope this helps you figure out what you want to be playing after the latest changes happened to Hearthstone. If you found the video helpful, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. Don't forget to check me out live on Twitch each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And also, if you want to support the channel for free, download Rage through my premium download link and start the game the right way. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.